It's always fun when someone that you've idolized for a long time reaches out to you and says, hey, would you mind doing a video on some of my parts? And I'm like, of course, Gavin Fuzzy, I would love to do a video on some of your 3D printed parts, because I've been looking at them for a long time. I've never ordered any myself, but I'm well aware that Gavin makes some of the coolest, simplest 3D printed pump action kits you can get for just about any of the blasters that need to have a pump action kit. Like the one that he has for the Retaliator, and by proxy the Recon Mark II, is one of the coolest pump grips you can get. And it's relatively inexpensive, which makes that even better. But Gavin reached out to me and said, hey, I'm gonna send you a couple of 3D printed parts for the Kronos, to which I was like, hooray! Because I'm a massive fan of the Kronos. I should actually be a massive fan of the Kronos, but I still stand by my previous statement, because I have one that's like turned up to frickin' 12, and I don't think I've hit anybody with it yet, unfortunately. But I do like the idea of the Kronos, and well, these are parts for that blaster. We have a new jam door, which is an easy access door, which is really nice to have. There's also an extended magazine piece for it. This allows you to hold 6 rounds in your blaster without any kind of actual modification to the internals. You just swap in this piece. And a new muzzle piece, which looks a heck of a lot better than not having one. And these kind of muzzles will actually help you a little bit when it comes to aiming and hitting targets. Not sure how much that matters with the actual Kronos, because again, I can't seem to hit anything with this. But I'm willing to give things a shot. But it wouldn't have been an awesome package without the inclusion of some Kamen Rider toys. Holy crap, Gavin. Like, that's the dream right there. When somebody knows you well enough to be like, hey, I know you really like this Kamen Rider thing, so let me send you some gifts. So not only did I get these pieces to do a video on and upgrade a Kronos even farther, but I also got things for the Kamen Rider collection. These are Gaia memories from Kamen Rider Double, which it was funny that he sent these to me, because before he had sent these to me, the 10th anniversary like reprints of a bunch of the old toys came out for pre-order, and I managed to snag a pre-order for the Double Driver, which was one of the first Kamen Rider drivers I wanted.
Joker! Cyclone! Henshin! Joker!
And now I'm finally going to get one, and these work with that driver. These are all Gashapon releases, although this one has been modified, which is also pretty special. But you've got Prism. Unfortunately, they don't do anything besides that, although they will work with the driver. We've got Fang. This is one I actually had to put together myself. It's a bit quiet. I don't know if I broke something, and it was a pain to put together, but those are the transformation noises. And then there's this one, which is a Legend Rider one for Kamen Rider Kuga. This one he actually modified to have an LED in it, and it's actually like synced up to the sound and stuff too, which is interesting. That's so cool. Thank you so much for these, Gavin. Seriously, these little things, like these things, hearing the noises and stuff like that, they make me so freaking happy. So I'm always happy to have Kamen Rider toys, especially ones that I just didn't have at all. I didn't have anything for Kamen Rider Double, and now I've already started my collection. But enough of that, we need to install these pieces. So this one seems pretty straightforward. It just kind of goes like that, and then goes like that. So that one's pretty easy. This one might be a tricky one because there's like a little spring inside for the whole magazine system. And this one should just be a straight up pinned replacement. So yeah, let's get started. Alrighty, and we're in. So just make this easy and take that out for the moment. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here, as per usual. There we go. So this is kind of the main meat of this. This is just going to slot in just like that. But of course, we have to replace this piece right here. And looking at the spring, that doesn't look like it's going to be that hard to deal with. Yeah, no, that should be relatively straightforward. Famous last words. So the difference between these is the angle. It gives just slightly more room for it to be able to swing out and allow you to insert an extra ball. So once you've got it just kind of like that, there's going to be a little bit of slack, but to fix that, you just stretch that spring all the way over, and you want it to get just under the original lip. And there you go. Now you're perfectly good to go with the 6 rounds instead of 5. Alright, next piece. I'm assuming this will have to get glued, but that just goes right in there like that. Yep. And, oh, maybe it doesn't have to get glued. It might just friction fit on there. Ooh. There we go. Rail goes like that. And then this piece replaces that, and that makes it so you don't have to actually open up anything in order to load a round into it. You can just slot that in. Make sure you have the door the right way so there's no gap right there. And that should be just about perfect. I don't even remember what these pieces are for, but honestly, I don't care because they're obviously not important to the actual function of the blaster. So there we go. I'll just put this back together now. All right. Works perfectly fine. Everything fit in there with no cutting or anything like that. It all just dropped right in. So we're going to test the 6-round capacity. Remember, the Kronos was originally a 5-round. Now it is apparently a 6, so we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 did fit in there. But it won't mean anything if it can't feed them, so, well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it fed all of them perfectly fine. How about that? Easy done. So, final conclusions. Jam door is pretty much a necessity at this point because there's no reason to have to open up a door to load things and then close it. That kind of gets in the way. Many people actually just remove their doors completely. This is a nice alternative. I mean, you can still open it up and everything like that, but it looks a lot better without having that big empty spot right there. The front sight, which has now been raised thanks to that piece, is really nice. Obviously, rear sight, oh no, you can't actually get a good sight picture with that. It is not impossible. I'm not sure how well you can see that. And most importantly to me, the muzzle really helps with aiming from the hip, as you will most likely do with most Nerf blasters. It really does help having that little bit of orange sticking out that you can easily highlight your target with. Without that, you're just kind of aiming a white brick, which doesn't work nearly as good. And this piece looks like it's meant to be there. I know it adds a little bit of extra bulk, but it really does look like it's well designed. Like, seriously, little details right in there. Up front, it has a little circle indent things right there. It just looks like it was meant to be on the blaster. And it matches the orange almost perfectly. Seriously. That's really good. Of course, this is a little bit brighter, but that's not bad at all. Honestly, I'm impressed, especially the 6-round capacity just working as a straight drop-in. No cutting, no nothing. It just, everything worked perfectly. Well done, Gavin. Holy balls. Pun intended. If you're interested in picking up your own parts for the Kronos and many other blasters, check out Gavin Fuzzy's Etsy down in the description below. Now, I am a friend of Gavin and he did send me these pieces. However, my opinion is still completely my own. He didn't pay me or anything like that, and I'm really happy with how these worked out. Seriously, it just looks amazing. They all function perfectly. There's not really any room to complain about. The print quality is not up to the standards of, like, Worker or anything like that, but for a homebrewed thing, it's really good. Seriously, and it's all freaking, like, yeah, I can't break that off or anything like that. Very impressed with how these work. So check out, again, the description below if you want to check out any of Gavin Fuzzy's designs, like his pump grips and so forth. And then, of course, if you also want to pick up any kind of, I I don't know, Walcom S7 merch. There's also the Teespring store down in the description as well. On top of things like, hey, if you want to support me even more and get a little dart icon next to your name and check out all the hidden posts I've been putting in the community section that only members can see, well, of course, you become a member of the channel for $5 a month and you get all sorts of cool little things, the best of which, in my opinion, being the little dart icon that you get next to your name every time you comment. Or when you, you know, live chat in the streams that I do every Saturday night at 7. Yeah! Anyway, this has been Walcom S7. Thank you very much for watching this video, and of course, I hope to see you in an entirely different one.
You gotta up,